I keep running into fans of density who seem to be under the impression that the United States was never an apartheid country. It was. Anyone could just Google America apartheid, and they would learn all about segregation in the United States. Now, it turns out they got this from density, and it turns out that this is some kind of semantic game that they're playing. I'm not 100% sure why, but it's extremely confusing as to why anybody would argue this. But once again, I keep running into fans of Destiny who seem to be under this impression that America was never an apartheid country. And I figured out where it came from. It came from that Finklestein debate.
From someone who doesn't think Jim Crow is apartheid.
I don't know if
Jim, who does think that Arab states
the problem
not
is you're
giving
morally
housing.
loading. For you, apartheid is when racists do bad things.
No,
right?
no. There's a definition of apartheid.
That's great. But
There's a very
the
clear
specific
definition
top-down
of apartheid.
racial domination enacted through top-down, like federal legislative policies or whatever, means that I don't know if Jim Crow would have qualified for apartheid. That doesn't make it.
Now, there's a number of possibilities. Destiny didn't know that America was ever racially segregated. There's also the possibility that he just doesn't know what the word apartheid means. But in talking to his fans, I figured out that this is mostly a semantic game that they're playing for no particular reason whatsoever, for no logical reason whatsoever. But I'll play because I don't like Destiny, and frankly, he stole that name from Miley Cyrus. That was Miley Cyrus's birth name, Destiny Cyrus, and then she obviously changed it legally to Miley because Destiny is a boy's name. So, first they'll argue that since the word apartheid comes from South Africa, that means segregation in the United States would have had to come from the top down. Okay, well, first of all, apartheid and segregation mean the same thing. We use apartheid much more commonly here than we used to because apartheid, when you say segregation, you think of things in black and white. It seems such a long time ago. When really American segregation really hasn't gone away yet. It's but legally it has, but we still pretty much live with it. We say apartheid today because that word has more pizzazz. It's more recent in our memory, our collective memory. South African apartheid. So, it's like going from global warming to climate change. It seems to be in a more appropriate word. And yeah, it's a fancy Eurotrash word. But I hate to break it to you, dudes. Meaning Destiny. I'm talking to Density's fans right now. Most of the words that you use came from somewhere else. Okay, now we get to the second part of this. This idea that racial segregation was never top down. Well, racial segregation was top down. The federal government oversees state laws. It's the federal government that decides if a state has the right to do that. And the federal government decided for a very long time that states had a right to segregate. It doesn't matter if segregation is, if Alabama's more racist than New York. It's irrelevant. These are Supreme Court decisions. The federal government allowed it to happen. And then the federal government stopped it from happening. Civil rights are overseen by the federal government. What a stupid argument to get into with people. I have no understanding. This is like the Sydney Sweeney's boobs destroyed wokeness. I literally have no clue what would motivate you to say something as stupid as America was never an apartheid state. All you do is make yourself sound stupid. This is another thing that I found recently post-debate. Destiny had an argument with that fancy boy, the dandy from Nathan from I think Current Affairs. Is that what that magazine's called? They had an argument about Israel and Palestine, and this slipped out of Density's mouth, and I think that people should pay close attention to what he's saying here.
One-sided narratives, and then it's just like the Palestinians.
Well, let's
And
see.
it's
Israel has
just not the
managed to
case.
make, because Israel has managed to make peace with a lot of their surrounding neighbors, and it seems like the Palestinian point is a big sticking point. The Palestinians. But let's think about this. So if Israel's been able to make peace with their neighbors, and if Palestinians are hated by a lot of their neighbors, what is like the common denominator here?
Wait a second.
Yeah. He just said, if everybody hates Palestinians, then we have no choice. This is the exact same thing. This is the exact same thing that Nazis and white supremacists and white nationalists say about Jewish people. It's what Hitler said about Jewish people. This is the dehumanization that we're talking about. This is the dehumanization that Jonathan Glazer was talking about. Everybody hates you, so I have no choice but to... Okay. Density essentially is arguing that we need to genocide a people because nobody likes them. Anyways, hey, listen, that's a Nazi talking point. And I would like to say that I not see that coming. But obviously, we all could have predicted him taking this road. And listen, I want to give myself some credit here for helping egg on Density into getting into that debate with Norman Finklestein. He chickened out the first time. But the Majority Report put out a clip. Matt Leck, my man Matt Leck, from my favorite show, The Majority Report, helped egg on Destiny to get into this debate with Norman Finklestein. We all sort of framed it as, why don't you challenge yourself? Why don't you talk to real historians? Instead of doing these mental masturbation with Wikipedia online on your TV show, on your computer TV show. Why don't you have a real conversation with a real historian, somebody who really knows what they're talking about? But let's be honest, we all just wanted to see him get humiliated. That was really our motivation. I spent a lot of time daring him to do this and baiting him into doing this. A lot of people did, and we should all take a bow. When we come together, we can do anything. I'm telling you. We did this. We humiliated him just as much as Norman Finklestein did.